Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this week's Raw review. So let's get straight into it because I want to get through as many comments as possible. We'll start where we always start, and that is with the match ratings. This is what you lot gave the matches during our live stream. So LWO taking on Judgment Day. I thought this open was a little bit flat because it was pretty paint by numbers, wasn't it? I did like the face-off with Ray. It picked up when LWO came out. Before that, it was just typical heel stuff. You know, Dominic trying to talk and being booed out the building, whatnot. But when Ray came out, there was some really nice exchanges, and then it led to a match, and the match was all right. It got a good 98%, right? So LWO Judgment Day, good 98%. Then we went Damage Control against Pure Fusion Collective. That got good 93%. Then we had Jay Uso taking on Karrion, Kross taking on Kofi. Love Jay's entrance. Jay coming through the crowds and everything, amazing. The match was fine, got good 97%. Braun against Bronson, obviously that spot outside with the car, amazing. That got great 85. So people really enjoyed that, and obviously they enjoyed it because of the car. Pete Dunne against Xavier against Miz, that got good 96%. Obviously some talking points there, what with Xavier wearing darker attire. People wondering if that is him kind of embracing his darker sides. There was a good theory on our live stream just saying that this feels so heavy that we're teasing that Xavier is the one that's going to turn, that actually it could be the opposite. It could be that it's Kofi that ends up turning. It could be Kofi that snaps. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. It could be that no one turns, but I think someone will. It's got to be built into something, but is it not the Xavier turn that people are expecting? And then, of course, our main event, this was Uncle Howdy taking on Chad Gable. This got great 74%, and I think it really lived up to expectation. I don't know that there was anything spectacular in there. I do like that little gauntlet thing that's made from the Fiend's gear. I do like that. And I missed a chunk of this because of the botch that was TNT Sports coming back from commercial and then pretty much immediately accidentally going back to commercial. And so it meant that there was a good chunk of this that I missed out on. I saw the table spot, I saw the claw, I saw the... I mean, I've pretty much seen it all. It was only like 3 or 4 minutes, but yeah, even so, I thought this was solid. And certainly very impressive if you think that Bo has not competed in a ring since I think it's like 2019, which is like 5 years before the pandemic. Right? So, I mean, it's amazing that he's gone out there. I'm sure the nerves were real. So, amazing. So, yeah, I'm thinking like 6, 7, 5 to 7, that kind of ballpark for me, that kind of range for me. But let's have a look and see what you lot thought of Raw. So Ethan says, the last time I went to a WWE show live, Bray closed the show in a dark match. It was the last time I would see my hero wrestle. I promised myself that I would never attend a WWE show again after he passed, because I wanted to keep my last WWE show live special, because that memory is special to me. This past Saturday, the anniversary of Wyndham's passing, something in my head told me to get a ticket for Raw. So I said, F it, I'll go for Wyndham. It's the best decision I ever made, and it was a full circle moment. It was 10 out of 10, and Wyndham was there with us in spirit. Well, listen, I think if Wyndham was going to be anywhere, and thank you for these pictures, if Wyndham was going to be anywhere, it would be right here with that guy, wouldn't it? Who seemed to have a decent size to him, actually. I do think that the hair being long kind of, I don't know, makes him feel a bit bigger, a bit more imposing, rather than him having like short hair or something. So, and when he gets hit, obviously it reacts a lot bigger as well. So, yeah, I could totally believe that Bray's presence could be felt here. So I'm glad you had a good time, buds. Gio the Theo said Raw needs some more new and fresh storylines. I feel like the storylines we have are getting old, brackets not stale. Plus, I know Rhea and Damian are the baby faces in the Liv Dom feud, but I don't buy Rhea and Damian as baby faces. Jeremy said it was a great show. Bronson Reed is getting a bigger spotlight. Great to see Zelina back, and boy was it fun to see Uncle Howdy in a match. Word of Wrestling said 3 hours flew by. Every segment had something I popped for. I love Bronson and Braun, the car tsunami, Terror Twins, top 10 tag teams, question mark. Loudest boos ever for Dom was amazing. Those segment was scary, how he embraces this darkness. The match, TNT, I hate you. What I saw, I loved. Kelly said it was good. Can't wait for Rhea and Damian to rip Liv and Dom apart. Braun and Bronson was brutal. Can we talk about CM Punk going live on Instagram whilst hiding under the ring while Drew was running his mouth? I wish WWE would stop making Karrion look weak. He needs a new storyline. Howdy and Chad, first that video, holy shiz, was that nothing less than perfection? Their match was amazing. Didn't like the hair on Howdy's mask, but it still looks wonderful. I'm so sorry that you guys in the UK were screwed. It could have used a little bit more wow factor, but I loved it anyway. Only question now is, where is Nikki? So 775 from Kelly, the wise lady. Anador said for a go-home show, it was good. Shame we missed half of the main event. Very true. Raymond said it was fantastic days live in person. This was my view from my seats, and I have clips and photos of Uncle Howdy. Raw was 10 out of 10. It was entertaining too, said Raymond. Carlton said it was an awesome show, 9.9. Leaping Lucha Larry said, I loved the main event, especially the bonus ads immediately after returning from commercial break. I scored the show 5 out of 10 during the halftime scores, but the second half saved it. For me, it got it to a 7. Howdy Gable was fantastic, and the Braun Bronson segment was great too. Minnie said Uncle Howdy Chad was definitely the highlight of the whole show. I thought it was perfect. So many childhood memories came back watching that match. Middle school me would have loved this match just as much as current me does, says Minnie. Ratchet the Owl said, I am glued to this eventual Woods heel turn. I've been extra nice to my son these last 2 weeks. He is with the New Day generation 12 years, like I was with the Rockers. You could see it when Sean started to turn, and you felt that super kick. Truly broke your heart. Where was Nikki? Question mark. So, could it be like this? Could Xavier and Kofi breaking up be like this? We're going to have to keep an eye out to see if they wear a leather jacket and a red shirt. If at any point they show up in one wearing a leather jacket, the other in a red shirt like this, something's going down. Uncle Revel said, I wasn't expecting a triple threat in the main event. Gable versus Howdy versus Howdy's hair was a banger. Howdy's hair even tried to use a table light for the advantage, but luckily Bo's hair made its way through for the save, allowing Uncle Howdy to get the win. Fix Uncle Howdy's hair. So Uncle Revel, not a fan. Ruby said, I woke up from a nap about an hour in and pretty much watched the show with no commercials. I loved Howdy's in-ring debut, but I'm sure Alexa is on her way. I can't wait for more. Tornado Xavier said it was a really good show. Definitely one of the best of the year. I'm Just Ken said meat on meat. The parking lot brawl, holy shiz. And Howdy's in-ring debut was special. Bo looked like $1 million. Other than that, I think it was a pretty average episode of Raw. Matt said, for me, Raw was like a sandwich. Judgment Day segment and Howdy match was the bread. Bronson Reed and Braun were the meat. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah. Slapped in the middle. The Howdy match didn't meet my unrealistic expectations, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. 6 out of 10, says Matter. Wrestling fan since day one said Raw was great. I love the Bronson Reed spot. I love the Uncle Howdy match. I know Randy is not going to win at the pay-per-view, but I would love for him to come to Raw for a while. Great stream days. Keep doing what you're doing. R.I.P. Sid. 7 out of 10 said wrestling fan since day one. Carl said it was an awesome show. Io and Kyrie, amazing as always. Drew, killing it on the mic as usual. Howdy and Wyatt 6 were goods. And we got a tsunami onto a car. Well, there we go. Billy said, it was a great show. Randy Orton promo was boring as hell. Bronson Reed is now must-watch. Sensational, and Uncle Howdy match was class. Except for TNT Sports ruining the match. Dominic is just a star. Love him. Punk Under the Ring live was brilliant, says Billy. Tony said, I was really only watching this week for Uncle Howdy Gable match. The Judgment Day stuff is still kind of entertaining, but I feel like everything else is so repetitive. I will say that the Bronson Braun match delivered though, so 7.666. NVR NDS said, it was a good show. Braun stuff was great. Howdy match was good. But they have to figure that hair out. Everyone's going on about the hair, man. I also think there's no stream left to keep the feud going with American made. No steam left. Next Raw should be straight to Gable versus Otis, or at most Ivy going after Nikki, and that's the end of it. Simpleton X said Bronson was the highlight. Rest of the show felt like filler, despite some fun matches. Most importantly, though, that Howdy match stunk. The presentation was lackluster. Very disappointing. Oh, you're the first person I've heard that said that they didn't like the Howdy match. I thought his entrance was brilliant with Shatter and him wearing that jacket and the lantern. And I mean, they've just got that right, I think. And then, you know, I'm not a fan of the hair either, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the hair. I much prefer the dreads. And then, yeah, like there was a few little spots. I didn't mind the upside down thing in the corner. Didn't mind the Sister Abigail that he went for, but Ivy was distracting. The angle slam on the commentary table, mandible claw, him being attacked by the Creeds and laughing his head off. Then, of course, the Wyatt 6 making the save, Ivy jumping on the back of Rowan. The dancing, I feel like the dancing came a bit early. I feel like the dancing probably should have been a bit later in the match, because Chad, you know, should have been a bit more groggy, should have been a bit more out of it, in my opinion. But it was a nice little callback to something we've seen from Bray before. So yeah, I would have done that later. I could see that bit being a bit criticised. I can, you know. But yeah, I mean, the bulk of the match itself, when you take all of those bits off, there wasn't loads else to it, or not that I saw. Once you take all those things out that I've just mentioned. So, I don't know. There was just a lot of commercials in the UK. So, everything I saw, though, felt fine. Felt good. Felt like it ticked a box. It's not a 5-star classic. I was never expecting a 5-star classic. But it is, I think, a presentation that ticked... Well, I feel like it ticked a lot of boxes. So, that's interesting. That for you, it came across as lackluster. I'd like to dig into that more. I'd like to dig into that. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I'd be interested if you've got specifics or what it was you were looking for. Some people said they were hoping it would be more violent. I can understand that, because this has been going for a while, and I could understand people looking for something a bit more than what we got. A bit more, you know, like the massacre. This group came in and massacred on night 1, and then we just don't seem to have got to those levels again. And I can understand that bit. I can understand that criticism. Storm said, I thought it was really good overall, not just because of the Howdy match either, which was great. I honestly felt it was just a good Raw, so 8.5. Alex said Raw was good. I'm happy that we got to see the first entrance of the new Judgment Day. I love the Judgment Day LWO segment. I'm so happy that Dominic pinned Ray for a second straight time. Loved Uncle Howdy. I'm happy they're making Bronson Reed into a big star. 8 out of 10. Fady said, very good considering half the roster is in Europe. Way exceeded my expectations. I have to say I'm not that excited for Berlin, to be honest. Way too predictable for my taste. Real Wrestling Fan said, we got back on track tonight. I mean, to me, a great wrestling show is an escape from real life. And for me, when the show has something for everybody, from father versus son drama, the violence of Braun and Bronson, to the heart-wrenching goosebump moments of Wyatt 6, 8 out of 10, said Real Wrestling Fan. Belinda said, loved the segments with the Terror Twins, loving that they are staying heels. Also, big thanks to you, Daze. During the live feeds, the amount of compassion everyone showed to one of our own in the Wrestling Daze community was beautiful. And you led it. You're a true one. Belinda, shout out to you, my friends. Yeah, I think, like, you know, we do get people jumping in sometimes to our streams just that are struggling, and I think that is obviously a positive that they feel that they can come and share that, because the alternative is horrifying, that they're going through stuff and they don't feel like they can say anywhere or talk anywhere. So you know, take all of that stuff super, super seriously. And I know that, like, it might be a case that people tune in and they want to just watch the show, whatever. But, you know, sometimes you're dealing with some pretty heavy stuff, you know. Sometimes that can just show itself. And so you've got to find a way of advising and of supporting. And hopefully we were able to do that. Which, you know, I brilliant. I'm really pleased that the community was there, and you know, that does happen from time to time. So, Belinda, shout out to you. Bean said it was a great show. Howdy match was great. Solid 8 out of 10. Lucy Axo said the Bo segment was amazing. I would prefer Howdy to squash people like The Fiend did at first, rather than having a 50-50 match, but it was still great. His character has come a long way from looking like the prospector in Toy Story 2 to now. It's amazing to see. I do like that. He did look like the prospector in Toy Story 2. You're right. James said it was brilliant all the way through. The matches were all great. I enjoyed all of them. All the little touches that Bo put in his match was special tonight. His hair and the fake hair, it just didn't work together. The dreads did look better. 9 out of 10 overall. Jay said, I enjoyed it. Commercials are a pain in the ass, though. 8 out of 10. Al said, I'm giving it an 8. Probably too high considering other Raws. Your call during the Bronson Braun was template. Oh, I so enjoyed that. Do you know, I think when you've got something and you can really get your teeth into it, it's a gift. It really is. There's a lot of wrestling you watch that's pretty flat, pretty, you know, just, it doesn't really give you much to work with. That, I mean, we were just eating goods. That was a dream. The real challenge when it comes to doing like live streams or whatever is, can you find entertainment when it's dull? Can you find conversations or things about what you're seeing that can be made entertaining? That's hard. But actually, like Bronson and Braun, when you've got a segment like that where you can really just have fun, super easy. Super easy. So, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but TG said Taylor killed it. Dylan said Uncle Howdy Chad was a fun match, and Bronson Reed's, oh my god. Other than that, the show was okay in my opinion. I'm going to give it a solid 7. Sinister Files says, wasn't bad. Highlights were Bronson continuing to be a beast and Uncle Howdy's debut. That was perfect and exactly how it needed to be. Really, really over Liv Dom stuff. Liv is absolutely abysmal on the mic. And Dom, I just don't see the allure. Still a good show though. Nishi said, it was an excellent show. Howdy match was incredible. Pete, Xavier, Miz triple threat was awesome. Drew Punk segment rocked. Randy's promo was my favourite. Love the fact that Howdy is human alter ego of Bo and not a supernatural entity. I do enjoy that as well, to be honest. I like the fact he's beatable. I just think it means that when he goes into, say, a championship match, there's a real good chance he's going to lose. You know, if he was this unstoppable force, unstoppable monster, you know, you lose that edge, really. Like, everyone should be beatable. I do think we might have given Chad a little bit too much in this match, but yeah. I have to go back to what I said. First match in 5 years. First solo match in 6. Amazing. Matthew said, great way for Cole to end on Raw before his move to SmackDown. Travis said, was good. Would be better if Dakota was there. I think she's injured at the moment, to be honest, buds. Brendan said, Big E versus Goldberg. Kiki gives it a 6, and we're going to have to end it here because we are out of time. But Logan James said, hello, Daze. Push Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai. Great Raw. My rating is 10 out of 10. Best Raw show tonight. I agree with that. I thought it was the best Raw show tonight as well. I hopefully will be at Bash in Berlin. Hopefully Bash in Berlin. What, that you'll be there or joining us? Great answering on AEW All In. I had high expectations of Bash in Berlin because AEW All In is the best show, best wrestling match. Damage Control and Pure Fusion Collective feuds is done. I wouldn't be surprised if Bronson Reed dethrones Bron Breakker and Braun and Bronson Reed's, aka Jake TV backstage brawl segment, gave me strong Attitude Era ruthless aggression vibes, okay? If WWE did those things more often, it would add to the unpredictability of each week's shows. And I'm almost made crying Danielson's win, AEW. Lovely. So, right, yeah, AEW, we don't watch it, so, you know, I'm sure it was a great show. It looked good to me. My focus is on Raw. In regards to what went down tonight, yeah, that backstage brawl with Braun and Bronson, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, I can see that. I think if you do it too much, though, it won't feel as special, you know? It won't feel as special. So I think that to do it once in a while is probably the right thing to do, but we could definitely turn that up a little bit more. We could get things like that on a little more of a regular basis, but I don't know, it's good that we're getting it now, isn't it? So yeah, 10 out of 10. Certainly seems like you enjoyed it, Logan, and I am very pleased to hear that. So there we go. That was your thoughts on this week's Raw. Obviously we will be back later for NXT. And we don't do opinions on that, but we'll do an opinions after the show on something. So we'll do an opinions video afterwards. But yeah, NXT tonight, it is a tape show, but I have avoided spoilers. So I legitimately don't know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously we're working our way towards Bash in Berlin. So we will be live for that. And the stream's already set up. I'm really looking forward to that. Should be a good show. I don't think the card's the strongest, but it looks like it should be an entertaining Saturday. So yeah, looking forward to it. So right, that's me done. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.